Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Mantra 108, where we're on our 18th day. Our 18th day of chanting the 8-syllable Viṣṇu mantra, Auṁ Namo Nārāyaṇāya. So, as I wait for just a couple of minutes for people to find me and get onto our live, Facebook Live, I will sit with you, have a little cup of tea. Good morning. And here we go. People are finding me, but Facebook made a little bit of trickery, and so I can't even see who's joining. But anyway, here we go. So we have been talking for the last, well, actually just yesterday we started this, talking about the kleshas. The kleshas are our mental and emotional afflictions that keep us from clearly connecting with our inner light of awareness. So the one that we talked about yesterday was avidya, our lack of awareness. And we noted yesterday that lack of awareness, the avidya, is really the basis for all of the other kleshas. It is the underlying current that keeps all of the other kleshas active. So the one that we'll talk about today is asmita. Asmita. So asmita is egotism, or this thing that we tend to fall into of feeling that we are more than or less than we really are. So, asmita. I'll read to you a little about asmita from Nikolai Bachman's perspective. So Nikolai says, so asmita, he identifies as a distorted sense of self. Asmita, meaning I amness, is having a distorted image of ourselves that does not match reality. It is either egotism or insecurity, both of which are forms of delusion, because they do not represent the truth, that we are no better or no worse than anyone else. Asmita is a mental, emotional affliction because it makes us think that we are our body, we are our mind, and therefore we are our thoughts and our emotions. Now remember, we identified these far earlier as vrittis. So the vrittis are these disturbances in our citta, our heart, mind, energy field. So it causes us to believe that our being is limited by things like our name, our occupation, our likes and our dislikes. Yoga teaches that our exterior shell, which we call the body, houses a pure inner light of awareness that is our true and permanent nature. We are this inner light. We are not that outer form. Power can corrupt. The ego likes to feel powerful and in control, so it welcomes this energy. top-down chains of command, such as corporate ladders and religious or military hierarchies, are natural and necessary for a group of people to function effectively as a team. Yet all too often, the people at the top abuse the power they've acquired because they no longer care about the little guys on the bottom. Remind you of anybody we know? Once we begin to think we have power over or are in any way better than other people, the heart-mind moves away from yoga and deteriorates toward avidya. When we feel insecure and think we're less than we actually are, self-doubt rears its demoralizing head. For example, you're new to yoga and you decide to attend a yogasana class, a physical yoga class. On the mat next to you is a very advanced student. You are in pain. She is flowing like honey. Even after many weeks, it seems you will never catch up to her. Comparing yourself to others in this way can both inflate or deflate the ego, thereby engaging the asmita klesha. So that person on the mat next to us, flowing like honey, as he says, she could be stuck in asmita klesha as well, thinking, well, I'm so much better than that little newbie over there. So it works both ways. We either falsely build ourselves up with our ego, or we falsely tear ourselves down with our self-doubt. Both of those are asmita. When we realize that the inner heart-mind is distinct from, yet close to, the inner light of awareness, and that we are better off when the ego takes orders from the inner heart-mind, then asmita will not cause us suffering. So let me read that again. I kind of screwed that up. When we realize that the inner heart-mind is distinct from and yet close to the inner light of awareness, and that we are better off when the ego takes orders from the inner heart-mind, then asmita will not cause us suffering. Our actions will be governed by our higher inner intelligence instead of the ego, whose agenda is to make us think that we are the body and our personality as defined by our thoughts and our emotions, the vrittis. It is important to have a healthy ego in order to function in society. A weakened asmita means that most of the time we neither think of ourselves as better than others nor see ourselves less than others. And we welcome suggestions for self-improvement, even if they are difficult to hear. We're no longer embarrassed by verbal criticism, and we don't need to save face because our inner sense of self can withstand what it knows to be only external perceptions. As the saying goes, sticks and stones may break my bones, but names will never hurt me. If we let what is harmful to us pass through and register only what is helpful to us, we will not become offended when verbal abuse comes our way. As asmita weakens, we will realize that in fact, we are better off treating others as we would like to be treated, and that we are no more or less important than anybody else. Once we allow ourselves to listen to our inner divine voice, then our ego becomes a servant instead of the master, and asmita klesha is destroyed. We can truly embody the phrase namaste, which means I bow to and acknowledge the pure inner light of awareness within you. So, some good thoughts today about this ego that could cause us to think that we are better than or less than, because neither of those things is true. All right, let's start our practice. Go ahead and sit tall. Press through the crown of your head, and at the same time drop those shoulders away from your ears. Begin to soften the skin, soften the muscles, soften the chitta, the heart, mind, energy field. And soften the asmita, this I amness that identifies with body, with emotions, with thoughts. Let's see if we can connect with our Purusha, our inner light of awareness. And we'll take a nice full inhale to begin. Auṁ Namo Nārāyaṇāya. 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 Auṁ Namo Nārayanaya. 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 Auṁ Namo Nārāyaṇāya. 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 Auṁ Namo Narayanaya. Auṁ Namo Narayanaya. Auṁ Namo Narayanaya. Auṁ Namo Narayanaya. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om. Sit in the silence of your sound. And this brings us to the end of our practice today. I encourage us all to sit with this idea of our I amness, which can inflame the ego to think that we are better than we really are, or can deflate the ego to make us think that we are not enough. The truth is, we are more than enough because we are not the ego, we are Purusha, this inner light of awareness. This is where our true being lies. So let's connect with that rather than avidya. And just think about that a little bit today. I'll see you tomorrow when we'll talk about the next klesha, which is raga. Raga, a desire for previously experienced pleasures. Ooh, that should be a juicy topic. All right. Thanks for being with me. I will see you tomorrow morning. Have a beautiful day, everyone.